I was born in Hong Kong. I moved to the US when I was 11. We lived in New York for a year, and we did not like that place. No, no, no. So we went, so my family moved to Texas and actually grew up in Texas. So 20 whatever years ago when I came up here for a visit, and I fell in love with Mount Rainier because I have never seen anything like that in my life. Like, and I saw Christmas trees. That's all I saw. I thought, whoa, okay, what is going on here? And so I went back home. Back then, after I finished college, we had 3 restaurants, and I was running restaurants. And my mom was like, "What are you doing?" I go, "Mom, there's this place called Seattle. This is where I need to be." And she's like, "What? No, I think this is what I'm going to go." And so and I left, and I went, and I just thought, this is it for me. Like, I don't want to be anywhere else. It's so pretty, and all I think of is Christmas trees. I'm surrounded with Christmas tree all the time. So that was a little story of kid, and yeah, I've always been this way. Like, I'm not afraid of. We'll figure it out, whatever that is, and something good will always happen. So I speak 3 languages. I've done finance, documentation. I do not, surprisingly, I do not have a degree in supply chain logistics. I have a biochemistry degree. And I think that's where my analytical skills comes in, because I'm so picky about certain things. And I think that's what gave me the niche. And I love challenges. I don't fear anything. Nope, no such thing. We just figure it out. That's what we do. The connection is, one of my customer was working for Warehouser. And when he found out that I was moving up there, he goes, "Kid, you should try to do this." I go, "What?" I go, "No, are you sure?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, you have the personality to do it, because you have the ability to flex and not freak out, because a lot of people freak out if something happens, But I'm like, yeah. So I went on an interview. I still remember I was so young. I just graduated from college, and I walked in and I was in an interview. I was the last interview for the day. I was the 13th interview, the 13th candidate, and I literally just got here. Nobody. So I just went up and I just be myself, and I'm just like, boom, boom, boom. Like, I'm talking like now, and they're like, "This is the one." Like, and I'm like, "Are you sure? Because I don't know anything about it." "Nope, you're it." And I'm like, "Okay, yay." So I'm since then I had great mentors. They've never held me back. Like, "Kid, you can do this," right? So I went from simple booking, documentation. They got me to finance because they thought I can be the next controller. Put some finance in my blood. Okay, and then I start concentrating on logistics, because I think that's what my love is. Like, I want to make sure, like, I always say, Cedar Nation. I'm trying to build Cedar Nation. Like, that's what I'm doing. Like, when we went global, we were like number 2 at one time. Out of, like, back in 2013, we were number 2 exporter in less than a year and a half, because we were focused, we were targeted, we wanted to make sure that we brand ourselves, and that's what we did. And I give 100 credit to the mill, because they all worked so hard to get to where we are. So when I first came to Hampton, it was 13 years ago, they didn't really have an export division. And this particular mill, for example, the Tillamook mill, we were in the recession. And so I was hired. They asked me, "Kid, we need an export division, because if we don't, then this mill's at risk."
Okay.
So that's a very personal thing to me. So when I first came, we literally sat down and said, "Dear mill, you're gonna have to convert this into an export product. But if you stay with us, we will get through the tough time." And we did. And for 2 years, they went export, just so we can get through the tough time. And then the market came back, and then everybody still have their jobs. And so I'm very much in love with Tillamook. I've always, like, that's my first mill that I ever dealt with, and they're really, really good people. they're just awesome. And so, but then I work in our international division, which is our travel division, for 6 years, and then once it's got up and running, then I moved to the cedar division because that was something that was new, and it was needed some mapping, and then that's what I do. And so I've been in cedar division ever since. But this always brings me good memories because it reminds me of how adaptable we are as a human being and how much we can do to make a difference. And then the people are just so good. Like the one from the mill to us and to the customer, the people in China like learn like different things about like the new brand that we have. It was really, really awesome to be part of. I really, really like that. Yeah. And now Tillamook does all the domestic stuff too now, right? So in a way, from a business point of view, prices is better domestically. So going export is not the best value for the mill. But they always remember that part of, oh, well, we can go both ways now if we really need to. So that's a niche for us. Yeah, a lot of mill in the beginning, like, what? Like, what do you want us to do? Like, what 2x4 is not 38 by 89? Yeah, I know, it's completely different language. I know, we're not psycho. It's it is what it is. And they're like, okay, kid, whatever, And then but we did it. And then I remember sending trucks down on 26 because Tillamook comes in the port, right? 100 trucks a week. Because we were just, going so, trying to keep the demand, brand ourselves, and we did it. And the reload that we used at the time, they're like, holy moly, we've never seen anything like that either. But we all kind of pitched in and survived that recession together. Yeah. What means to me that I'm part of something much bigger, that the potential of seeing that I can influence the next generation. Like part of the reason why I came, because I have 2 girls, okay? And when I was younger, when I first came here, one of my young girls, like somebody asked her, so what does your mom do for a living? And she goes, oh, she kills trees. And I wanted to change that. The notion of her not understanding what I do and what to change, to educate, to be part of the influence. I want to be part of it. Like, I want to be the spokesperson for it. I want to tell everybody that we're surrounded by precious resources, and we continue to practice sustainability. We do whatever we need to do, whether to reach out different communities, to educate that trees are good for everyone, and we're here to, we have to do whatever we need to do to stay forever, and just kind of just educate. Like, how can we not? I will be really, really sad. Like, well, you guys can edit this, but I feel like I'm very honored to be part of this circle, because I don't think I never thought that I could be part of this, something so big, that I can influence, in a position to influence how things move around the world. I'm part of that, and I know that, and it's yeah, and that's what gets me up every day. I don't feel people are like, kid, how do you no, because that's what you do. You get up because other people have needs, and I'm part of the big wheel. Somebody's depending on us. Even if just from a planter box that you put in your garden, to your backyard fence because something happened in your house, to structural, to where you live every day. I want to be part of it. Why wouldn't I? This is very interesting because this tells a story about our mill. This year we have a contest. We ask all the high school students in the community to design our paper wrap. So this was the winner for our Warrington mill. It was designed by one of the high school students. So when you see the elk, when this is from the Tillamook mill. So when you see different design, it tells you where it's coming from one of our 8 mills. It's pretty awesome. And we had a lot of fun with it. We're a global company, so part of the logo, we're having the US flag on there. It represents Made in America, and we're very, very, very proud of that. There we go. A real facility is an operation center that put all our products together, and then either we put it on a rail car to ship to across the nation, you go east, Chicago, whenever, or we can move it on a truck. The operators here will load a truckload and put all our mill stock together and go to wherever that needs to go to our customers. Things are happening every day, everywhere, and when you go to Home Depot, you see our products. You go to Lowe's, you see our products. And gets the order, someone puts it in the system, someone makes the wood. It's how to get everything all put together in an order. Somebody said, okay, we got to ship this by, truck, rail, how are we going to do that? And there's me. And then we put it together, we book a truck, someone loads the truck, someone puts the truck together, strap it, then the driver loads it, whoever does it, and then it just goes to the customer's door. And then it gets invoiced to the customer because we sell it to the person, and then we do it over and over again. And then sometimes you do it 70,000 times a year. Like, for example, for a truckload, for trucks, that's how many we do every year. It's kind of crazy. Another thing that is really cool, when we have, unfortunately, like Hurricane Harvey, for example, a couple of years ago, we were one of the vendors that we can say, okay, how soon can you get this for us in the store when there's a natural disaster? And all of a sudden, 7,000 trucks that shows up, and so to help the community who's affected by it. So it's just something that you always think like, oh wow, to be part of that is really, really cool.